Talking Bench project is something that's really aligned with our mission. It's all about communication, and that's what we're passionate about in terms of all of our projects. It's being carried out in collaboration with the Time to Change Fund, which is mined in Somerset. And the emphasis is on about destigmatisation of mental health, which is exactly where Joe and I come from. It's about being open and honest with how things are in your life and being fine to talk about it. And it doesn't make you any less of a man, it doesn't make you any less of a person. You're allowed to talk about what's going on in your life, and it doesn't have to be a black mark against your name. So for us, the bench is all about encouraging people to talk, and it stems from a bench that was created in Burnham-on-Sea, and we're trying to duplicate that and replicate it for the Taunton community because it doesn't have one at the moment. The idea is that if somebody sat on the bench, it's that they may have something going on in their life, that they're lonely, they're isolated, or they just want to talk to someone, they want that connection. And that's, I think, currently with what's going on in terms of Corona, that's never more important than it is right now, to let people know that they're not alone, and that there are people listening.
We came across the idea of a talk bench from one of the papers or on social media, and the idea behind the concept is a public bench in a public space, which is a popular area, which has people passing by, and there's either a sign or a notification attached to it, and it's understood that this bench is whoever sat on the bench is perhaps in a space of crisis or time or need, or even just isolation or loneliness. So anyone else in the public can drop by and just say, "Hey, how you doing?" or "How's your day?" So it kind of starts to develop a sense of community and a sense of sharing and caring within the Taunton area. So we came up with a design for the bench which we want to be as natural as possible. It's going to be a big log with a seat carved into it, with some ironmongery holding it to the ground, and we're going to torch it with a gas or semi-gas burner, and it sort of symbolises the torturous nature of poor mental health. However, rather than the exterior surface, the beauty that sort of resides in underneath, and they have in the colourful timber which you sit on and absorb. So it's sort of, and through that fire, something wonderful comes out of it,
From our perspective, yeah, the talking bench is our little contribution to get Taunton talking. I think over the last 10 or so years, there's been a massive impact in the mental health of Taunton in terms of lots of things going on in the local area. The town centre isn't quite what it used to be. There's lots of things in Taunton that has been massively affected with recessions and the politics of the current world. And so that's kind of our main hope, to get our little kind of input to get the morale lifted a little bit. In the future, there's kind of ideas that Joe and I have bumped around about perhaps doing similar benches, or collaborating with other perhaps shops or activity providers or practitioners in the area, and building something that's akin to their kind of demographic. Joe and I are all real keen on surfing, so one of the things we've talked about is perhaps being able to pursue something where we collaborate with other local shops or providers, and one of the ideas is about building perhaps a surfboard themed bench or a surfboard sculpture, again with the same emphasis in trying to get people to come together and communicate, and just our little way of doing something a little bit quirky to bring the community together.